Can you do a video on WordPress? Does it still make sense to continue learning it going into 2024? Let's talk about that. All right, let me put this on Do Not Disturb, focus mode. All right, so this question is a great question because it's a loaded question. Should you learn WordPress in 2024, going into 2024? And that's a good question because there's a lot of different answers depending on how you're looking to use WordPress to generate income, revenue for your business, things of that nature. All right, so we have to think about it from multiple different perspectives. The person that asked me the question just asked it pretty much open-ended, which is great because it allows me the chance to really answer it, targeting different types of business models and revenue generators and income streams and things of that nature. Let's talk about WordPress and what it is. Well, we know that WordPress is software that's used. It's a content management system, and it's the most popular one that's out there right now. It powers well over 43% of the web. And if you start looking at the CMS market, WordPress powers over 63% of websites that use a CMS. And that is significant because that means there's no near competitor when we're talking about software used to power a website. And it is software, even though we think of it as a, as a platform or as a stack of languages compiled together with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP, and MySQL, and using different build tools, being on a Linux server in a data center, running with a MySQL or MariaDB database. WordPress is software, and there's a lot of developers that work on it all over the world. And there's a lot of different ways to work on it. All right, so why would somebody ask the question, is WordPress still worth learning in 2024? And it's a question that gets asked pretty much every year because, you want to see what the latest trends are in terms of, technology stacks and technologies that are being used to power different types of devices or applications or programs, things of that nature. So to answer the question in a very general sense, you got to think about it like this. No matter where you're coming from in terms of if you're a theme developer, a plugin developer, if you're a blogger, if you're a website owner, if you're a small business owner, if you're an affiliate marketer, if you are a blogger that likes to put on ads and, inside of their articles, or if you like to put affiliate links on products that you are very familiar about, or even if you like to guest post on different websites. Websites are still popular. There's billions of websites online today, and there are millions of websites being added continuously. And beyond that, people are creating new content, blog posts, articles, news articles, pages, different types of custom post types. People are still using websites as a way to generate leads. And we see that website usage is not going down. There are millions and billions of people who are searching the web on a daily basis. And yeah, things are changing a little bit with, artificial intelligence, with ChatGPT, with Bard, with Claude AI, and a bunch of other tools that are out there. But at the end of the day, websites still provide a significant amount of, benefits to a business owner, to a blogger. And considering that and how that's not going to change for the foreseeable future, WordPress just had their State of WordPress annual conference, and they mentioned the fact that they're looking towards the future and the long-term future, the next 100 years, the next 50 years, the next 30 years. So by making a statement like that and seeing the direction that the core developers and the company behind WordPress itself, seeing where they're focusing on, tells you that there's still a huge future in it for websites. All right, so what does that mean? If you are looking to earn a living by providing services in creating websites or blog sites or media sites, anything that's going to be online. An e-commerce site, an online store where you sell physical or digital goods. WordPress, being the most popular platform, gives you a lot of opportunity. And considering the fact that it's very easy for people to get started with WordPress by going to any of the hosting providers out there, and a lot of them have one-click installs for WordPress, it's just a no-brainer. That means you have a large market of people that you can market your services to. And that's important because when you're going to get into a business, what you want to do is see what is the market opportunity. What is the opportunity out there in the market for you and for the services you're offering and providing to people. And if there is a large market, then that tells you that there's a lot of opportunity. Now, you also have to think about the competition. A lot of people are within the WordPress space in terms of, creating websites as a freelancer, developing websites for local businesses, agencies. There are a bunch of large agencies that strictly use WordPress, in terms of their development for creating websites for their clients. And, for SEO specialists, for social media specialists, there's a lot of competition out there. So you got to take that into consideration as well. And, considering the fact that there is a lot of competition, you have to think about if you have the skill sets to develop a theme, develop a plugin, or write content, or, create different types of assets for websites, how are you going to market your services? And that is, probably another discussion for another video. But the reality is that no matter what business you go into, you have to figure out how you're going to market yourself, because you could be the best developer in the entire world. You could be the best writer in the entire world. But if nobody knows that you exist in terms of the services you provide or your skill set, it's going to be difficult for you to earn a living doing that. So on top of being a great developer or being a great content writer, you're going to have to find ways to market your services to people. Now, this is what I tell people just starting off with WordPress, or those who have been in the space for a while. No matter what you do, always try to have connections within your community, wherever you live, wherever you go to. If you go to a pizza shop, I'm a big pizza guy. I like pizza. So if I'm going to a pizza shop, I'm going to make a connection. I'll make friends with the pizza shop owner or the people that work there. See if they have any needs or any issues with their current website, or if they don't have a website, maybe there's something I could do for them. If you go to your local barber, I cut my own hair. But if you go to your local barber, see if there's maybe something you could do with them. Businesses like doing business with people they know, especially in small business communities. If you get a chance to really make connections within your community and becoming an asset towards your neighborhood, that will definitely help you out, especially when times get tough. Because in this business, there's always changes. There's always something changing within the environment of, the digital world. So you have to be ready to adapt and to prepare for those changes. And by having the ability to network locally, that gives you a significant leg up. So the question was, should you learn WordPress in 2024? My gut reaction is yes. And it's yes because, again, large market share, lots of opportunity, lots of different ways to make money with WordPress. I touched on it a little bit here and there. You could be a theme developer or a plugin developer. You have to find your niche. You have to find what you can provide of value that'll make a person want to purchase your themes or plugins. But that's really on the digital space, right? So you have to do a lot of online marketing for that. You could be a freelance developer and go locally to your local businesses and say, hey, looks like you don't have a website, or hey, your website looks like it could be updated. This is my business card, and this is what I do. This is what I'm offering to you, and try to develop a relationship that way. You could develop relationships with your local chambers of commerce, and that's a great chance right there for you to really meet a lot of businesses in a short time frame. There's always local chambers within, small, medium, and big cities. Basically everywhere there's going to be a chamber of commerce or some type of business district, council, or whatever they call it. So, try to make your connections there. If you are not a developer, you can make money with WordPress by writing articles. That is a great service because at the end of the day, you got to think about it. A business or a business person who's focused on growing their business is not necessarily going to spend the time, needed in order to learn how to do proper content writing and content marketing. So if you're a content writer, you don't even have to be a developer. You could just be a writer. You could, market your services locally and say, hey, I could generate, a consistent flow of high quality articles that are search engine optimized that will help you to do your lead generation for your business online. Go about it that way. Maybe you're a social media specialist. You could do the same thing. Just having a website by itself, and again, there's multiple layers to this. You could have the best website in the world. You can have a lot of high quality content, but there's a lot of websites out there, as I mentioned, and there's a lot of content out there being generated on a daily basis. So you can't just create the content and hope people will find your site. Yeah, maybe Google will bless you and put you on page 1 of the search engine results, but that takes time. So social media marketing is another way to generate revenue with WordPress as a WordPress specialist, as a SEO consultant or a social media consultant. So that way you can say, hey, I see you have a great looking website, because maybe they do, but you could also see that they don't have an active newsfeed or an active blog on their site, and they're not adding new content or fresh content on a consistent basis. If that's the case, that is a service you can provide. Or you can say, if you're, let's say, a graphic artist, and you notice that the images on a website aren't top of the line, you can reach out and say, hey, I'm a graphic artist. I know how to work directly with WordPress. Since the vast majority of websites are WordPress websites, everything I'm saying pretty much applies to that. Let me regenerate some of those images for you. Let me fine tune them and make them pop out or stand out in a better way, especially in the real estate field. Now, this is a great opportunity. Realtors are everywhere, and especially in communities that have a lot of homes, you're going to find that there's a large population of realtors. So identify your local real estate agents, your real estate association, make connections there. That's why networking is very important. But what you want to do is reach out to the realtors and say, hey, I know you're on Zillow, I know you're on Realtor, I know you're on this website or that website, but you really should own your identity. And you really should have a foundation to your online presence. And the reason for that, and I should have touched on this earlier, is I'm a huge believer in owning your online presence, your digital identity. And the way you do that is by having your foundation with your website. Now, there's a bunch of different tools out there, right? There's WordPress.org, there's WordPress.com, there's Squarespace, there's Wix, there's a bunch of them. There's Drupal, which is another CMS. There's Joomla, and there's a lot of different ways for you to generate content online. When you're talking to a realtor, say, look, I can generate articles for you or pages for your new listings that you're putting up. I can, make sure the images are placed properly, or I could develop a fully functional website for you that is real estate centric, and I can help you become a known realtor in your local market when people search for a realtor within that local city or town. Now, that's valuable because at the end of the day, people, yes, they use other sites or other platforms like Zillow or Realtor or Truly or whatever, but they also search online, and they'll use a generic search term like New York real estate or California real estate or whatever, their localized real estate search term. And you can help that realtor create their online identity with a customized website with high quality content. I hear the sirens of a fire truck, so I'm gonna pull over a little bit. All right, they passed. All right, so you can help them generate content and become well known within their industry, within their local market, by creating consistent content online. And that's going to be a valuable service that you provide. Hold on 1 second. I am backing up because I found parking. And parking ain't easy over here. All right. All right, so yeah, so you can help realtors create their websites and things of that nature. There's a lot of opportunity. And, you know, learning WordPress for 2024 or updating your WordPress knowledge, because WordPress is an evolving platform. Let me take a drink over here. All right, so WordPress is an evolving platform, which means you have to stay up to date with it. You have to make sure you're aware of how themes are getting developed, how plugins are getting developed, and the things that go along with that, how you should host your website. Should you go with self-hosting, managed hosting? What are your different options out there? So learning WordPress in 2024 is a definite benefit if you want to make a living, either as a developer, a freelancer, if you want to work for an agency, if you want to be a consultant, if you want to just be a blogger and generate revenue with ads. There's a lot of opportunities there. So, you know, when people say the online world's changing and theme development is changing or plugin development is changing, and maybe I don't want to do that anymore, what do I do next? Well, you can easily transition to another area within the WordPress space. There's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of ways to pivot within WordPress and within the online world. Maybe you're tired of being a freelancer and you're tired of going out there to prospect, knocking on doors, meeting businesses, talking to people, and trying to really earn a living in a way that can be very profitable, very rewarding, but it's time consuming. And you know, you're really dependent on your next deal. Or maybe you're a theme developer and you're saying, you know what, I'm going to try plugin development now. Or maybe I'm going to try offering SEO services or hosting services. You could actually be your own host with a WordPress multi-site installation. You get some space in a data center. You could use something like Linode or DigitalOcean, or you could use something like AWS or whatever. Get yourself a block of space, and then you can create a multi-site installation. I have a few videos on that. And then you could offer services for hosting of other people's sites. And with domain mapping, you can actually become your own hosting provider. Or you can just become an affiliate marketer for some of the other hosting providers out there. They all have affiliate programs for the most part, and some of them are very generous. There's a lot of stuff that you could do with WordPress. So let me just see my notes real quick since I finally parked. Make sure that I'm covering all the bases here. Yeah, I mean, I covered a lot of stuff. And, you know, with WordPress, you have e-commerce solutions as well, e-commerce type websites. You can have your own website where you sell your own themes, you sell your own plugins. That's definitely an opportunity. You can sell ebooks on how to start a website, or how to create your own themes, or how to properly create blog posts, something like that. You can sell your own ebooks. That's definitely an opportunity. You could have a membership website. Now, that's something that could be beneficial. Maybe you have your free articles you provide to the world, because it's always good to provide value, you know, definitely for free at first. And probably for the long term, it's good to provide value to people in terms of free content. But maybe you have some specialized content that you provide only to your members. And so you can have a membership-based site where people pay monthly, you know, maybe $5, $10 a month, or whatever the market pricing might be for you in your specific area or your specific field. And then, offer that as an option. So that's definitely something possible. You can create online courses. So courses are a good idea because, again, maybe instead of just selling an ebook, you can sell a whole entire course that goes deeper into how to do something specific, whether it's programming, whether it's how to code, or whether it's how to manage a web server, or how to write proper content, or things of that nature. You can create online courses, and that can definitely be profitable. touched on freelancing. That's definitely obviously an option. And I think that at the end of the day, every business, for the most part, needs a website. So if you can create a service in your local area and become known for it, no matter what the economy is, you'll have business to do. And I'm not talking about just a one-off time of creating a website or just a one-off job of creating a website. You can create the website for them. You could use a reseller account to sell them the domain name and the hosting as well. And then you can have a maintenance fee that you use with them, that you provide them, that you'll do the backup service for them. You do the security audits. And maybe you have some people that you work with, other freelancers that you team up with. Maybe they specialize in different areas. Some could be content writers, some could be graphic artists, and you build your network. And that will keep you alive no matter what the economy is like. So I think that's definitely a possibility there. We touched on creating and selling themes and plugins. Touched a little bit on consulting, and you could also offer training services. I mean, think about it. Again, sometimes you'll have that business owner that may not want to do everything on their own, but may want to do some of it on their own, and maybe they're willing to learn. So you can consult for them, and you can train them or somebody on their staff. So you could charge for that. Say, they hire you to develop their website, but they want somebody on their staff to be in charge of creating content and managing the site. You can charge an hourly, fee to train that person on how to maintain the site or how to generate content. That's another revenue opportunity. Content creation, we referenced that. Hosting referral programs. What else? Oh, website flipping. That is another option as well. Now, this is something people don't think about all the time in terms of ways to make money, but let's say you develop a local website, and really for you, since you're the developer, it only costs you, the $15 a year for the domain name. And if you have a VPS or if you have a server online, it just takes up a little bit of space for you. But let's say you develop a local website that specializes in something that's important towards other businesses within your local area. And you develop content for it, you have it mature online, you get it to start ranking, and then you start putting it up for sale. Flipping websites. You create a nice looking website that's already SEO optimized, already has the content that will help it within the Google search pages, and then you put it up for sale. That could definitely work. Then we have the SEO and marketing services and the social media marketing services. Definitely a lot of options there. Again, so why should we use WordPress? WordPress powers 43% of all websites online. When you're talking about the CMS market, it's over 63% of that market share. There's no near competitor to WordPress, which means you have a lot of opportunity of people out there who you could touch base with and do some type of service for them. Because you'll be surprised. There could be websites that have been online for a couple of years now and really hasn't changed their content or changed their information. And it could really use probably some updating. So that's an opportunity for you. And people, especially once they get familiar with WordPress, depending on the type of business, might change their theme every so often, or may try to use something different or a different theme or a different plugin. So you have an opportunity there, even if somebody already has a website and they're already using another theme. That doesn't mean they're going to use that theme forever. So there's an opportunity there. Before I jump into the next part of it of maybe why you shouldn't use WordPress, let me take a drink. All right. Why wouldn't you want to use WordPress? Well, if you're a theme developer, if you're a plugin developer, there is a lot of competition. And over the years, the way themes have been developed has changed. And a lot of people are, not comfortable with change in terms of going the old way, the classic way, and the new block editor way. And I did a 5-hour plus video on how to create your own custom theme using WordPress. And it goes into how to create a hybrid theme, because in reality, that's what people are using. If you look on WordPress.org, you'll see there's over 10,000 themes available. Now, they took off the number of how many block themes are available, but I showed in another video how you can get that number back. And the amount of themes that are block themes are still less than 500. And looking forward, the trend is not shifting that fast. people are still using hybrid themes. But that also means there's a lot for you to learn. You have to learn how to develop a theme for the classic way and for the modern way. So maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, you know what, it's too much of a headache. Forget that. That could be a reason why you don't continue with WordPress. And then there could be security concerns. Maybe you're good at developing simple projects, but the security concerns of any platform, because there's nothing that is 100% secure. But WordPress is very popular. So since it's very popular, it becomes a target. And if you don't manage your website properly, if you don't keep your themes and your plugins up to date, if you use too many plugins, that could be a security issue. And on top of a security issue, that could be a performance issue. You might have conflicts between one plugin and another. So you have to manage a lot of things. And for an individual, that can be a headache. And if that's something you don't want to do, then maybe WordPress is not ideal. And then, again, there's a lot of competition out there. There's a lot of different companies. There's a lot of different freelancers, theme developers, plugin developers, and specialists that are trying to provide the same service you're providing. So that means you have to become an expert in marketing your services. And that's not easy. That's a full-time job in of itself. So if you don't want to have the responsibility of doing that, then maybe this is not for you as well. But again, maybe you could just work for an agency. There's a lot of different agencies out there. A lot of them have remote work opportunities for their developers. So you could probably get something there. But ultimately, I think WordPress still is a viable option for freelancers, for people who want to earn a living in multiple different ways. Or there's a lot of different ways to make money with WordPress. You can be a theme developer, plugin developer, SEO specialist, social media specialist, content creator, content writer, blogger, freelancer, consultant, you name it. There's a lot of different opportunities with WordPress. So my gut answer to the question, should you learn WordPress in 2024? The answer is yes, if this is something you want to do. It's not easy. It's not a walk in the park, but it can be very rewarding. It's very challenging. It requires a lot of effort. But I think it's definitely beneficial because it gives you a lot of opportunity to diversify your skill set and to diversify your services. To, when the market shifts, you could shift with it within the same space. There's not that many types of jobs that allow that, where there's a lot of different types of ways to earn a living within the same platform or within the same business model. So that's my answer to the question of, should you learn WordPress in 2024? I hope I answered it properly. I hope I made sense. And, my goal is to help people navigate this process of owning a website, developing a website, and creating your digital identity or your online identity and doing it right. I've made a million mistakes in my time. I've been doing this for over a decade. And I learned the hard way of how to do things and how not to do things. So that's why I have a catalog of videos, over 400 videos dedicated to different areas of creating a website, programming a website, coding for a website, WordPress, SEO, things of that nature. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification icon. If you have any thoughts, ideas, or suggestions, leave them down below. And either I'll answer it here in terms of the comment area, or I'll answer it in a video. All right, so thanks for watching and happy coding.